Morning from Seoul. So time at 7:10 in the morning, Seoul, and we are ready and off to go to our DMZ tour.
I just sent you the message, this one.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Thank you. Welcome. First stop, just before the military area, we're going to have almost full bus because of military regulation, which says we need to have at least 30 people to use our bus inside the military area. There's a visitor list to be submitted to the military up there. Military has many regulations, and the first one we need to prepare is visitor list with your information. So your name, your birthday, your cell phone number, nationality of you. We have additional program over here. See? Interview with a defector from North Korea. So she's right next to me, okay? Woman from North Korea. So she made a long detour to come to South Korea from North to China first, and Myanmar and Thailand. Only from Thailand she could fly to Seoul over here. So she has a long journey to be here. So we find the military checkpoint. We come back over here with ticket, and then we have to show our passport over here. Anyone who forgot to bring the passport? Here is the theme park Imjinga. You can find even camping site, part of the family picnic area. It has become like this. Gradually, this has become like amusement park. But at the beginning, when this was created in the year 1975, it was pure memorial park at the beginning. But because of the peace events like peace concert, peace festival, many family members gather here with kids too. So they made this one like a family amusement.
Today is day 2, time is 9:15. இப்போ நம்ம DMZ ஏரியாவுக்கு வந்தாச்சு. So we're going to have a look at the border between North and South Korea. And நாங்கள் tour operator through தான் இங்கே வந்தோம். We booked it via Klook. It took us approximately 1.5 hours to reach here. We started by 7:20 in the morning, and now we reached about 8:45 around. So அதுக்கப்புறம் tickets வாங்க எங்கள் tour operator போயிருக்காரு. In the meantime, we are having our food. So there are a lot of couple of restaurants and cafes here for us to quickly catch up on breakfast. So I'm having my matcha latte. Yeah. So he's getting the burgers. So veg பார்த்தீங்கன்னா very limited options. To be honest here. So பஸ்ஸில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா our tour guide SP Hong, I guess. Yeah, SP Hong அவர் பேர். So he gave a good presentation of what we can expect in this tour. And special thing பார்த்தீங்கன்னா we got an interview with the Defector, right, from North Korea. So which means Miss Jo அப்படின்னு சொன்னார் அங்கே பேர். She had escaped North Korea, traveled via China, Thailand, Myanmar, Thailand to finally reach South Korea in the year of 2009. So இப்போ அந்த மாதிரினா பாசிபிளே இல்லைன்னு அவங்களே சொல்லிட்டாங்க, because lot of surveillance, lot of restrictions. But we got to hear first-hand information from the Defector herself, like how she managed to escape, what was the situation back then, what is the situation right now. So அந்த மாதிரி நிறையா அவங்க எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸை ஷேர் பண்ணாங்க. She was speaking in Korean. Our tour guide helped to translate, and wonderful. And so we had an opportunity to ask her live questions, like how was her life back then, and the Mari questions she answered patiently. And we also took a photo with her. and now she has been in Korea like more than 15 years now. அவங்களோட younger brother still left in North Korea. They got to know that his family left, so they kind of imprisoned him and he stays there. And அவங்க ஸ்டோரி ஃபுல்லாக ஷேர் பண்ணாங்க. எப்படின்னா அவங்க ஒரு ப்ரோக்கர் மூலயமா சைனா ஃபஸ்ட்டு போயிட்டு, ஸோ அந்த ப்ரோக்கர் பிடிச்சதே வந்து அவங்க 2 sisters தே ட்ராவல் ஜஸ்ட் டு சைனா லைக் ஒரு டூரிசம் மாதிரி போயிட்டு, அப்போது அந்த ப்ரோக்கரை பிடிச்சி அவங்க மூலயமா தே எஸ்கேப் டு சைனா. ஃப்ரம் சைனா தே கேம் டு மயான்மர் and from Myanmar to Thailand. Thailand, the process they had to stay like for 3 months because avangaloda migrants no certificate, refugee no certificate vaangita, and they had to come back to South Korea. And South Korea vandalume the process not easy, they do not trust the North Koreans defector as such, right, blindly. So they were just thinking if avanga or spy kuda irukkalam, government spy indha mari route la varanga nu sollittu 3 months they were been put on absolute surveillance from the South Korean government. So they have been watched 3 months carefully, and once they were satisfied, another 3 months they were put into training, like South Korea la enna enga kadaikum andha mari training attend pannite, and finally they were granted a visa, South Korean visa. So she's much happy here. She's a lecturer right now in South Korea, and she's also a human rights activist, watching for North Korea, trying to help North Koreans and the madri. So direct communication to North Korea is not possible now in solranga. So what they are doing, they are relaying the messages to his family, to her family in North Korea. They can also send money, it seems, via brokers. So nariya medium irukku to communicate to North Koreans. And she's also not coming like publicly because she doesn't want to spoil her brother's life there, because North Koreans are very watchful, and if they come to know that someone from North Korea is spreading the messages or talking about it, they might harm her family. That's what she believes. So she just comes into this small tours and now she gives a speech and she says how is it life there, and she just disappears. She is a silent activist, that's what they call her. நல்லா இருந்துச்சு அவங்க எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். முன்னாடி மாதிரி லைஃப் ஈஸி இல்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. And a lot of similarities between North and South Korea also, she said. Culturally, character-wise, everything is similar. Food, எல்லாமே சிமிலராக தான் இருக்கும்னாங்க. ஆனால் அங்கே ஒரு ஸ்லேவ்ஸ் மாதிரி they were being treated. It is like a kingdom. It was like a kingdom dynasty. Like a king இருப்பார், king க்ளோஸ் ஆனவங்க அப்பா கிளாஸ், மிடில் கிளாஸ், லோவர் கிளாஸ் அந்த மாதிரி வச்சுருப்பாங்க. And 1 in every 5 people in North Korea is a government informer அப்படின்னு தான் அவங்க சொல்கிறாங்க. ஸோ இட்ஸ் லைக் no CCTV, no cameras needed. People are always watching of what you are doing. So it's not easy to escape North Korea right now. And back then it was quite easy. Like அவங்கள மாதிரி நிறையா எஸ்கேப் ஆன people இருக்காங்க போல இருக்கு.
What is the map of Paju? Paju is the name of county of here, Paju County. This one shows only the Paju County. Up there is North Korea up there. From North Korea, the river starts from there and it meanders, as you see. It wanders over here. Inside to the south, it comes down to the south. But the other side of the river, Imjin, is not North Korea yet. It is South Korean military area before DMZ. So now let me go to the DMZ itself. Center line of DMZ. Okay, this is the ceasefire line or combat line at the time of ceasefire agreement. And from there, 2 km to the north is northern boundary of DMZ. 2 km to the south. And then here is the JSA. Joint Security Area, official conference area between 2 sides. To Pyongyang. Do you know Pyongyang? It is the capital city of North Korea. Capital city of North Korea, Pyongyang. It is 200 kilometers away from here. 200 kilometers straight up there. But this stopped over here because of the war. When North Korea invaded South Korea, this could not move anymore. So it was the year 1950. North Korea invaded South Korea. It is related to the Kim dynasty. We could listen to the living in North Korea So let me share with you the story of an incredible dynasty, okay? A dynasty of isolation, secret contradictions, and one of the last remaining dynasties in this modern world, Kim Dynasty. It all began with the first leader of North Korea. Do you know the name of the first leader of North Korea? Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung. He was born in Pyongyang in the year 1912, and after World War II, in the year 1945, he was only 33-year-old young man, but he rose power in the northern half of Korea with the support of Soviet Union. Okay? To the south, U.S. Army came over for democracy, but to the north, Soviet Union designated young Kim Il-sung as his puppet. So Kim Il-sung was like a puppet at the beginning, a puppet of communists from Soviet Union, but he quickly established the totalitarian regime. Okay? Now you remember that from the witness of the testimony of the Mrs. Cho. Now you can understand that communism was just the beginning. Immediately it turned into a totalitarian society, and then Kim Il-sung started the war. Kim Il-sung, with the support of Soviet Union and China, he started the war in 5 years. So from the division of 1945, in 5 years, in the year 1950, he invaded South Korea with Soviet tanks. Okay? Anyway, the Korean War stopped or paused by ceasefire agreement in 3 years. So in the year 1953, ceasefire was signed. Still, two Koreas divided by heavily fortified DMZ. We're gonna have there. Okay? After crossing of the river, when you get to the tunnel area, we're gonna cross the southern boundary and DMZ there. Okay? And then also, Kim Il-sung, he introduced an ideology named Juche. Have you heard of that? Instead of communism, he replaced communism with the ideology of Juche, meaning self-reliance or self-independence. So he wanted to stand alone. He did not want to be a puppet of the Soviet Union all the time. So he introduced an ideology, Juche, centered around absolute loyalty to himself. Okay? So Kim Il-sung, the portrait of Kim Il-sung were hang in every house, every school, every offices. Okay? Statue of Kim Il-sung all over northern Korea. Okay? So he became the leader of new ideology, Juche, instead of communism. Okay? And then under his rule, North Korea became one of the most tightly controlled from that time. And when he died in the year 1994, he could rule North Korea for 46 years, and he died in the year 1994 by heart attack. When he died, the power stayed in the family, passing to his son Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-il was the second leader. And then when he died in the year 2011, he was again succeeded by Kim Jong-un, the grandson of the first leader, Kim Jong-un, the rocket man. I'm going to go over the story of rocket man a bit later. Yes. But I gave you the beginning of the North Korean dynasty, okay, Kim dynasty. So do you have any question about the beginning of the Kim dynasty? In North Korea, Kim Il-sung is believed as the only god in North Korea. No freedom of religion except the cult of personality. So in North Korea you can find the portraits and statue of Kim Il-sung everywhere.
So this is the place. They have North Korean currency and money.
Okay, this way, my guest. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you can, the sound is practice. It is just a practice. Test firing is not real fighting or shelling the other side. In many cases, they do the practice. Okay. Now, let's see the statue. And then US flags over here. Can you imagine the reason? This is to commemorate US involvement to the Korean War, which was made at the beginning of the Korean War in the year 1950. Okay? The war started on the day of June 25th. So we call it the War of June 25th in Korean. In English, you call it the Korean War, but in Korea, we call it the War of June 25th. Okay? North Korea made a sudden attack. We were not completely prepared. In terms of the tank, we had no tank at all, zero. But they had Soviet tanks, 240 Soviet tanks, 240 Soviet tanks they had. So it was a piece of cake to North Korean army. In just 3 days, capital city of South Korea taken by North Army. Can you imagine? Seoul occupied by North Army in 3 days after the beginning of war. Okay? And President of USA interpreted that thing as a communist invasion to the free world side. He believed that this is not just a domestic war over here. It's not just a civil war between North and South. The war must have been instigated or encouraged by Mr. Stalin himself. So Mr. Truman, Harry Truman, 33rd President of USA, he convened the Security Council of UN to pass the resolution to dispatch combat troops to the Korean War. So under his initiative, 16 free world nations sent combat troops to the Korean War, from mainly USA and from UK, France, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Turkey, Philippines, even South Africa and Ethiopia. 16 free world nations came over here under the flag of UN, and they were commanded by General Douglas MacArthur. Okay. It's the beginning part of the Korean War. The 1st Battalion from US came over here by the first day of July. If you remember, the war started on the day of June 25th, but by the first day of July, a lady, 1st Battalion of US Army came over here. They were from Japan. At the time, General Douglas MacArthur was in Tokyo, so he dispatched 1st Battalion to the Korean War in less than a week. So do you have any question about the beginning part of the Korean War? It's a species of hibiscus, but we call this one, this one, Rose of Sharon. It is the national flower of Korea. National flower of Korea. Rose of Sharon. It's a
இன்னைக்கு quite free. பெரிய டூர் யாரும் வரல போல். இன்னைக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஃப்ரீயாக இருக்குது. நாங்கள் பார்த்த வீடியோஸ்லாம் இட் வாஸ் வெரி க்ரௌடட். It's nice to know the history of Korea.
And North Korea.
Yeah, Korea as a whole. Also, rain makes it more
Cozy.
yeah.
Just reminding me of Bangalore sometimes, but
It reminds me of London actually. Glasgow, Edinburgh, and birthday upon it was so nice.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
let me show you the sign Im Jin Kok. Do you remember the name of the river is Im Jin River? Okay.
So we are going to the DMZ, the tunnel.
In 3 minutes at the military checkpoint, a South Korean soldier will board the bus. He will get on the bus to check for the visitor list. Photos at the tunnel area, which takes 10 minutes drive from here. It was used for Kaesong Industrial Complex, but now it's blocked. You can find closed gateway to north. There is no usage now. So here to the front on the asphalt over here, blue line on the asphalt for the crossover. There you go. Do you see? Now, to your left or right, you see the blue line. It is the southern boundary of DMZ. Now we are officially inside the demilitarized zone. And we drive about 2 or 3 minutes. And then there is the entrance for the walkway. You walk down, 1,200 feet you walk down, 358 meters with the slope of 11 degrees. And there is the North Korean tunnel horizontally you walk through. It is for 265 meters, 265, 800 feet. 800 feet you have to walk through. You see blockade. There are 3 full counter blocks. First one, second one, third one, and then we come back. It is 170 meters away from those who are 557 feet away from the borderline, who are ceasefire line. The other side, North Korea. And we estimate about 1.2 km tunnelized to the north, 1.2 km tunnel to the north, but it penetrates to the south by 435 meters.
This probably is one of the most dangerous area in the world, demilitarized zone. Never heard that before. This exists only between South Korea and North Korea. இவங்ககிட்ட நிறைய கான்ஃப்ளிக்ஸ் நடந்திருக்கு இந்த பாஸ்ட்டில். இந்த கொரியன் வார் பற்றி நிறையா சொன்னாங்க. மெயினாக இந்த இவங்க இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் பார்டருக்கு 2 கிலோமீட்டர் இந்த பக்கம் 2 கிலோமீட்டர் அந்த பக்கம் மட்டும் டீமிலிட்டரைஸ் அவுட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அவங்க 2 பேருக்கு நடுவில் வார் வரக்கூடாது திருப்பி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஆனால் அதுக்கப்புறமும் வந்து இவங்க என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, டனல் தோண்டி இவங்கள வந்து அட்டாக் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஹவு க்ரூவல் தட் இஸ். அதையும் கஷ்டப்பட்டு கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காங்க. இன்னும் வேறு எதுவும் டனல் இருக்கா இல்லையான்னு தெரியல. பட் ஓவராலாக 4 டனல்ஸ் இருந்திருக்கு. இது வந்து 3ஆவதாக கண்டுபிடிச்சனால அது 3rd டனல். இதுலேயே அட் அ பாயிண்ட் வந்து 30,000 பேர் அங்கேருந்து இங்கே வந்திருக்காங்க. ஓவரால் ஒரு டைமில் வந்து 30,000 பேர் வர முடியும் இங்கே. அவ்வளோ ஒரு பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அதில் ஒரு 170 மீட்டர் அங்கே கீழே போனோம். இது வந்து பூமிக்கு கீழே ஒரு 73 மீட்டர் கீழே போயிருக்கு. கொஞ்சம் ஒரு ட்ரெக்கிங் மாதிரி தான் இருந்திருக்கு. ஒரு மாடரேட் லெவல் ட்ரெக்கிங் நான் சொல்லுவேன். ரொம்ப ஈஸி கிடையாது, ரொம்ப டஃப்பும் கிடையாது. ஸோ அரௌண்ட் we took 30 minutes to complete this. அரௌண்ட் 1.5 கிலோமீட்டர் கிட்ட வந்திருக்கு அப் அண்ட் டவுன். ஸோ அரௌண்ட் நாங்கள் நடந்த ஸ்டெப்ஸ் வந்து 2000 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் கிட்ட ஓவரால் வந்திருக்கு. பட் ஆனால் வெரி ஸ்டீப்பி. ஸோ இது இந்த நீ ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு அது ரெக்கமெண்டட் கிடையாது. பட் if you are physically fit, you can definitely try it out. It's definitely a worthy experience that you can try. So even my wifey was gladly did this. We can ask her about the experience. How was the experience, Deepi? எப்படி இருந்தது?
It was good. டனல் வந்து கொஞ்சம் டீப்பாக போச்சு. ஸ்லோவாக பண்ணிங்கன்னா ஈஸியாக முடிச்சிடலாம். இட்ஸ் நைஸ். இட் ஒன்லி டேக்ஸ் about 20 minutes. ஒரு நல்ல அத்லெட்டிக்காக இருந்தீங்கன்னா 15 minutes கூட முடிச்சிடலாம். both the way. It's very nice. Once you can come here. is my, I don't know how many
Fourth or fifth?
cups of matcha. So lovely. Matcha is so light. So this is Unification Village. I think we'll not go inside the village. It's just a photo point. That's 15 minutes time. 1:30 already. Mainly வந்து DMZ zone கிட்ட இருக்கிறதுனால வந்து it's not occupied. Only farmlands மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. We will see the lilies over there. It was lovely here. By the way, this is the national flower of Korea. Hibiscus type la irukum, but it's something பேர் மறந்துச்சு. This is the national flower of Korea. So அங்க ஒரு restaurant area இருக்கு. You can grab your foods if you want, and you have a restroom also to take a restroom break. Apart from that, it's just a photo shop, and the weather is too good, making it very nice. If you can see, the weather is so nice. Yeah, so we complete our DMZ tour here. So the time is now 1:40, and inge erunumna 1.5 hours. So 3:30 the tour will be done. And if you ask me if it's worth it, yes, definitely, because you get to see firsthand info about North Korea and all the facts about the Korean War and how each was constructed and what goes behind in this. So there are a lot of things which is interesting. This is a bus, by the way. So this definitely, please do not miss the DMZ tour here. It's a good one.